You wake up on Monday feeling unstoppable. New goals, new habits, new life. You clean your room. You download productivity apps. You write a detailed plan in your notebook. And for the first 3 days, you feel powerful. But by day 4, something strange happens. The fire disappears. The alarm feels heavier. The gym feels optional. The dream feels distant. And suddenly you're lying on your bed, staring at the ceiling, phone on your chest, exhausted, even though you did almost nothing. Why does motivation always disappear after 3 days? Today, we're breaking down the 72-hour motivation trap and how to escape it. But first, let me tell you something uncomfortable. Motivation was never meant to last. If you think motivation is supposed to stay forever, pause this video right now, because that belief is exactly what's sabotaging you. Let's rewind. Day 1 feels magical because your brain is high on novelty. There's a powerful neurotransmitter called dopamine. When you imagine a better future, a fit body, more money, respect, success, dopamine spikes. Your brain says, yes, this is exciting. Let's go. It feels like clarity. It feels like purpose. But what it actually is anticipation. And anticipation has an expiration date. By day 2, the fantasy is still alive. You wake up early. You eat clean. You feel proud. By day 3, reality enters the chat. Your muscles are sore. Your mind is tired. The results are invisible. And dopamine, it drops. Think about the last time you were extremely motivated. Now ask yourself, were you addicted to the result or committed to the process? Here's the harsh truth. Motivation is emotional fuel, and emotions are unstable. They rise fast. They crash faster. Your brain doesn't reward effort. It rewards novelty and quick wins. But real growth is boring. That's where most people quit. Not because they're lazy, not because they're incapable, but because they expected motivation to carry them longer than it was designed to. Let's go deeper. When you start something new, your identity hasn't caught up yet. You say, I'm going to the gym. But you don't yet believe, I am someone who trains consistently. That gap creates friction, and friction feels like resistance. Resistance feels like exhaustion. So by day 3 or 4, your brain whispers something dangerous. This isn't working. But that voice isn't wisdom. It's discomfort. What if nothing is wrong with you? What if you're just experiencing the exact point where real growth begins? The 72-hour mark is where fantasy ends and identity work begins. And identity work is slow. Imagine planting a seed. For 3 days, you water it enthusiastically. On day 4, you dig it up because nothing grew. That's what quitting early does. You don't fail because you lack motivation. You fail because you interrupt the growth cycle. Let's talk about another reason motivation disappears. Expectation inflation. On day 1, you imagine extreme results. 6-pack abs. 6-figure income. Massive transformation. But the effort required daily? It's small, repetitive, invisible. Your brain compares the massive vision to the tiny daily action and says, this is underwhelming. So it withdraws excitement. This is the psychological trap. You're not tired because you worked hard. You're tired because your expectations were unrealistic. Stop scrolling for a second. Ask yourself, did you quit because it was impossible? Or because it wasn't instantly impressive? Now here's something powerful. High performers don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. When you depend on emotion, you work only when you feel like it. When you build systems, you work whether you feel like it or not. This is where discipline enters. Not aggressive discipline. Not self-hate discipline. Quiet discipline. The kind that says, I don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway. And here's the paradox. Motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. When you complete small tasks consistently, dopamine begins to associate reward with progress, not fantasy. That's when momentum becomes sustainable. If motivation disappears after 3 days, what if your only job is to survive day 4? Let's make this practical. Instead of starting with a massive transformation, shrink it. Instead of 2-hour workouts, do 15 minutes. Instead of writing 2,000 words, write 200. Instead of waking at 5 a.m., wake 15 minutes earlier. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're trying to train your identity. Because once your brain believes, this is who I am, resistance decreases. There's another hidden factor. Decision fatigue. On day 1, you're hyper-aware. You think about every action. Healthy or junk. Work or scroll. Sleep or Netflix. Constant decision-making drains mental energy. By day 3, you're exhausted, not physically, but cognitively. That's why routines matter. The fewer decisions you make, the less willpower you burn. Make your environment stronger than your mood. Put the phone away before sleeping. Lay out your gym clothes. Block distracting apps. Design your surroundings so success becomes easier than failure. Imagine your future self watching you right now. Would they say you lacked motivation or lacked structure? Now let's address something deeper. Sometimes motivation disappears because the goal isn't yours. It's borrowed. From social media. From friends. From society. If your why is weak, your consistency will be weaker. When the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the discomfort of change, that's when real persistence begins. So ask yourself, why does this goal matter to me? What happens if I don't change? Who suffers if I stay the same? Discomfort with purpose feels different than discomfort without meaning. Close your eyes for 5 seconds and picture yourself 1 year from now if nothing changes. Feel that feeling. That's stronger than temporary motivation. Here's the biggest misconception. People think consistency feels intense. It doesn't. It feels ordinary. Repetition. Boredom. Slight progress. The gym doesn't feel heroic on day 47. Writing doesn't feel magical on day 103. Saving money doesn't feel exciting on month 8. But compound growth is invisible until it's undeniable. 3 days of effort won't change your life. 300 days might. And here's the beautiful part. Once you cross the 30-day mark, something shifts. It's no longer, I'm trying. It becomes, I do this. That identity shift reduces friction dramatically. You don't negotiate with yourself. You execute. If motivation dies after 3 days, maybe that's the test, not the failure. Let me give you a new rule. Never judge a habit in the first 7 days. The first week is emotional chaos. Judge it after 30. Track progress weekly, not daily. Daily results lie. Weekly trends tell the truth. And most importantly, stop romanticizing motivation. It's a spark, not a power source. The real power source is commitment to small, repeatable actions. That's how you move 1% at a time. Not with bursts of intensity, but with sustainable pressure. The next time motivation disappears on day 3, don't panic. Smile. Because now you know. You've reached the doorway most people turn around at. Walk through it. Even slowly. Even imperfectly. And one day, someone will look at your discipline and call it natural talent. They won't see the day 4 you survived. They won't see the boredom you tolerated. They'll just see the result. But you'll know the truth. Motivation was never the hero. Consistency was. And if this video helped you understand why your fire keeps fading, you don't need to feel ready. You need to keep going. Just 1% at a time.